What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today is the day. Today is election day, and we have a runoff race in Georgia. I'm going to talk a little bit about this, and I want to talk about a comment that Herschel Walker made, and I believe this was a few days ago. This is a political article that we're going to take a look at. I'm going to tell you why this is very, very important for us to focus on, because there are a lot of people that are unhappy with the politicians that we have in office right now, and some politicians that are running for office, and some politicians that are no longer politicians. And a big part of the reason why we get some of the politicians that we get is because we don't pay attention. And so I want to focus on something that he said, because I think it's very important. You have to know what's going on in order to represent the people. And I think a lot of times we get these politicians in here and they don't represent the people. That's because they don't even know how the system works. And so that's what we're going to focus on today. But if you guys can do me a favor, especially in this video, because this video is not going to get as many views as a normal video. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification. This is valuable information. This is information that you need to know when it comes to how our political system works. And so I highly encourage you to share this video with other people. Maybe they will be able to get something from this, as well as people in Georgia. Now, I'm not posting this video to tell you who to vote for. I'm not telling you to vote for Warnock. I'm not telling you to vote for Walker. But I just want you to be educated when you start listening to some of these different politicians and listen to some of these people who are running for office. I think it's important for us to know the knowledge that they have when it comes to this job that they want, okay? So let's go ahead and I want to show you this political article real quick, and I'm just going to show you one section. And I think it's important because, and I'm going to read it exactly the way it is here, okay? I'm not going to try to make any corrections. This is a direct quote from Herschel Walker. Okay, so here's what Herschel Walker says. He says, they're not less motivated. He's talking about the people, right? They're not less motivated because they know right now that the House will be even, so they don't want to understand what is happening right now. You get the House, you get the committees. You get all the committees even. They just stall things within there. So if we keep a check on Joe Biden, we're just going to keep a check on him, Walker said. Okay, so that was his direct statement. Now, I want to break this down because I think it's important for us to break down exactly what he's saying, because he's saying some stuff in here that doesn't make sense. And he's showing that he doesn't know how our system works, and he doesn't even know what office he is running for. And so it's important. Now, let me come back real quick. I want you guys to understand, he didn't make a correction on this. So if he misspoke, he could have corrected the record, right? Politico could have put another article out saying, yes, he misspoke when he said this, but he hasn't corrected this. And so let's go back, and I just want to show you the things that I have that I think are just need to be corrected, right? So the first thing he's talking about the American people. They're not less motivated. And then he says here, the top, right here, he says, they know right now that the House will be even, so they don't want to understand what is happening right now. So he's saying the House, which he means the Senate, because he's running for Senate. But he's saying the House. Now, I don't know if he doesn't understand that the House and the Senate are two different chambers, but he's talking like the House will be even, but it's not the House. It's the Senate. And then something else that he's talking about the committees. And so he's saying, so right here, exactly what does he say? You get the House, you get the committees, okay? So he's talking about the Senate. He can't be talking about the House because he's running for Senate. This runoff race is for Senate. So he's talking about the committees. If he wins, then they get the committees. That's not true. The committees are still going to go to the Democrats regardless, because Kamala Harris, the vice president, comes in and breaks the tie. The majority goes to the Democrats because of that. Because of the White House, the majority goes to the Democrats, even though we have 50, even if it's a 50-50 in the Senate. So they don't get the committees. The committees are going to stay with the Democrats, no matter what. So this race is irrelevant when it comes to the committees. And so he's saying two things that are showing that he has no knowledge of how our system works. And this is very important. This is very important. We're paying these politicians $174,000 a year. They should know, first off, they should know the difference between the House and the Senate. And like I said, if he misspoke, he didn't correct the record. And then he went on to talk about the committees, just showing that he doesn't understand that even if it's 50-50, the committees are still going to go to the Democrats. And when it comes down to it, the Democrats have control of the Senate, which means the chair of all these different committees, they're going to be Democrats. Okay, so they appoint the chairs. That's their, because they have the majority. They control the committees. Okay, and the chair controls the committees. Basically, what we're saying here. And so he's just showing his lack of knowledge. And like I said, you're paying these politicians $174,000 a year. They need to know something about the job that they're about to take. So what if he does win and he gets into the Senate and he thinks the Senate's the House and he thinks that the committees are going to be he's going to be able to be a 50-50 as far as who they choose to run the committees. That's not how it works. And so it's the reason that I'm saying this, and it's not just Walker. You have a lot of politicians that are out there that they come from nowhere. They don't have any experience representing people. And this is where, I have mixed feelings. I know we should have some type of term limits. That's the way I feel. But I think that you should come from representing people when we vote these people into office. You shouldn't just come from, be a celebrity and then become a politician. I don't think, and if you do go that route, you should have some experience before you get to that level. So when you're going, you don't just start at the Senate or you don't just start as a president. You work your way up and show that you're representing people. It would be much like if I needed an attorney to represent me. I'm going to want to know what kind of experience that attorney has doing the same job that he's going to represent me in. Even if he's an attorney, but he's doing other stuff, I want to know that he can represent me in the way that I think is appropriate. I don't just want a celebrity who just got their law degree to come in and represent me, because I know someone with experience is going to do a better job of representing me. And so it should be the same thing when we're looking at stuff like this. When we're looking at the words that Walker is using here, and another thing, just the way he's talking is like, okay, it doesn't even make sense. A lot of the stuff he's saying doesn't make sense. And so how can you take a person seriously if you know that they have no clue about how the system works? It would just like go back to the lawyer thing. You have a lawyer, you pay him $174,000, and that lawyer goes in the courtroom and doesn't know the difference between a judge and a prosecutor. That would be a disaster. And you would want your money back, and you would say, you know what? I'm firing this person. I'm going with someone else. And so I just wanted to put this out. I know it's a quick video, but it just amazes me how some of these people get to the point where they're running for these positions. And a U.S. senator is a very prominent position, and he doesn't even know the difference between the House and the Senate. It's amazing. Or he thinks that the Senate is a part of the House, or I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking here. But it's just amazing to me. And so I want to know what you guys think about this. Where are you when it comes to the experience? Do you think these politicians need to have some experience before they go to these higher levels of office, like a senator or like even a representative? Do you think they need to be like a mayor or city council person, or work their way up in the state level, state legislation, and then run for the House of Representatives and the Senate and the presidency? Do you think they need to have some experience like that? Let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.